Alright, what is up, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls? Today we're back, and we're back with Sen Triplets. Everyone's my favorite. Not really. Well, it's a new general. I've played it once on my video log, and we've got Sen Triplets, which is a Esper white, blue, black commander. If you don't know what Esper means, it's from Shards of Alara block, where there were colors, in three colors called wedges. Based on the magic color pie. If you had a wedge, it's three colors that are aligned together. Well, aligned, and they share, the two outside colors share an ally. So white's allied with blue, blue's allied with black, but black and white are not allied, they're enemy colors. So you got a wedge. So Stars of Alara focus on the wedge domains, and they called the white, blue, black one Esper. So Esper focused on artifacts in that block. So we've got Sen Triplets, and we've got a legendary artifact creature, human wizard. Beginning of your upkeep, choose target opponent. This turn, that player cannot cast spells or activate abilities and plays with their hand revealed. You may play cards from that player's hand this turn. So it's pretty sweet, because at least your turn becomes like a free turn. Your opponent can't do anything on your turn. They can't counter your spells. They can't use their creature's abilities, so if they want to do anything, they do it on their own turn. And then we have in the red corner, we've got, weighing in at probably 83 pounds, Zur the Enchanter, wearing the macerated black trunks. The white, blue, he's also Esper General, but he's one white, blue, black, and he's also a human wizard, not an artifact. Flying 1/4. Wow, that seems like really bad stats. Why does everyone hate this card? Oh, look at the ability. Whenever Zur the Enchanter attacks, you may search your library for an enchantment card with converted mana cost 3 or less, and put it on the battlefield. You do shuffle your library. So the reason people hate Zur is because even if you make a casual, I put that casual in quotes, a casual Zur, just tutoring up enchantments, even if they're not the greatest enchantments, not a fair thing to happen if people cannot remove Zur before he gets to attack. So what the optimal Zur deck, they tend to find an enchantment that gives all their... First they get, I think it's Diplomatic Immunity, which gives Zur Shroud, which doesn't matter since the ability doesn't target. And then they start going off with Zur enchantment. I think they'll just search like Oblivion Rings and like Detention Spheres and mess with your permanents. So most people don't like to play Zur because also Zur packs counter magic, has tutors. It has a white for wrath effects. I've actually played Zur who's played Armageddon. Zur Armageddon, not a fun time. Anyway, so I was just studying tonight. I have an exam in the morning, but I was like, hop on one game, see how it goes. And this is the first game I actually played, so we've got a replay. I apologize for that, but it should be fun. Maybe at the end of this video, if we have time, I'll just look at the spoilers that came out after midnight. I actually have not looked at them. It's already 1:30. Alright, so we got this hand. As you see, it's not loaded with counter magic, it's not loaded with removal, but I've got Jace. And Jace's pretty good because I know he's on the play, so he's going to play first. And Jace lets me bounce this guy back to his hand if he plays it on curve. If he has like a Soul Ring or something with like an Signet, then I'm in a lot of trouble, but hopefully he doesn't have that, so we're going to keep this. And see what happens. We got our Dismantling Blow, we got Saint Humargo, which is not exciting in a Zur matchup, but we'll see what happens. So we leave with the Sanctum, because it always comes to play tapped. Next we leave with the Creeping Tar Pit, because I'm not going to bluff a counter spell. He plays Manamo, he's got white, blue, black already, as do we. Grim Monolith, so I'm kind of interested why he didn't play it last turn. Maybe he just drew it for turn. That's always possible, but it's a little suspicious. Maybe he's holding it like Mana Leak, who knows. Alright, so he's got a good start. He's got Mystic Gate. Oh, and if you guys didn't know, tonight you might see this on the East Coast between it's about 1 a.m., so it's already half an hour late. And before 3 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, there's a blood moon. And if you go outside and look out your window, you can see a blood moon. That would be like 2 a.m. Central or 1 a.m. Western, mountain probably, yeah. I actually went outside and looked, but we've gotten overcast from all this wind we've gotten lately, which mixture of these cold for hot fronts, whatever. I didn't pay attention to the broadcast, but we actually had a super huge amount of wind today. Which is funny that there was a Blood Moon today because actually yesterday I was playing like maybe less than 5 games last night, and one of my subscribers joined my game. Don't remember his name, but he was a cool guy, and he he dropped turn like 2 or turn 3 Magus of the Moon on me while I was playing this deck. And this deck does not fare well against Magus of the Moon, but I try to play it out. I don't have very many non-basics. I have one of each at least. But I have artifact mana, but I didn't have any of like the signets that like let me compensate for not having colored mana. And I found a Gilded Lotus, so I top decked the Gilded Lotus, I played it. But he also had a Vidalcan Orrery, which lets him play anything at instant speed. And then he Vidalcan Orrery'd with like a Pillage, so he was trying to target my Gilded Lotus, which is my only colored source besides one Plains. So I had to counter it with like one of my few counters that I have in my deck, and so that resolved. And then on his turn, he had the give target spell flashback until end of turn, so he's gonna target it again. And it was pretty deep. We were pretty deep into the game, maybe like at least 10 turns, and I was like, you know what? The chance of me getting out of this is just so unlikely, so I conceded. So if you're that guy, you Blood Mooned me out. Only appropriate considering today is the Blood Moon day. So thanks for being a subscriber. Let's keep going. Enough for the random stories. In essence, sometimes you just have to concede to Blood Moon. I played it out as long as I could. So we're not going to let him Grim Monolith because I don't want like a Consecrated Sphinx getting dropped on me. That's not exciting. Does he just top deck the Soul Ring, or is he seriously playing around? I'm sure he just drew that for turn. That is a lucky draw. But and then I was going to hold up... I wasn't going to run out Jace or the Thran. I was thinking about running out Thran Dynamo. I was like, the chances of him not having counter seems very low because I feel like he probably could have played his General this turn if he wanted to. Maybe not. He doesn't have the colored mana, but... So I was going to play either Thran Dynamo or hold up Dismiss, but then I forgot I don't actually have a Plains Island or on the battlefield, so it comes and play tapped. So that was kind of a bad mistake on my part. But he didn't actually play anything on his turn, so that was kind of weird. Alright, so I got the same Gargoyle. Thought Odell's not going to do a whole lot if he's got a removal spell, which I think he does. He definitely has a counter. If he doesn't have a counter, then he's the biggest bluffer I've ever seen because he just ran out his General. I think he should have last turn, but he didn't. So we're going to play a Thran Dynamo. The benefit of that is we have the Sanctum Gargoyle, which gets back any artifact from our graveyard to our hand basically for free. So if he actually countered out, it just slammed Sanctum Gargoyle and been happy. But he didn't counter. He did pause for a little while. He didn't counter, so I know he's got a counter. I mean, if he does, at this point, he should definitely slam his General. Like, I guess he was afraid of a huge spell, but he just doesn't want me to cast my General because he can't beat it. But if he has a Zur out, he can deal with this with like Oblivion Ring. So that was a big mistake on his part. I definitely think he should have just slammed at his General. The problem with playing against a lot of these Esper decks or blue decks in general is they just don't want to play anything. They just want to like sit there and not tap out. And of course, I have counter spells in my hand. But I like to tap out. I like to just play my spells if I can, and he could. And a 3 and a blue. There aren't that many counter spells that punish you. There's no hinder. There's no spell crumple. There's no dissipate, cancel, mana leak. Or mana leak's one of the things, but even then, mana leak wouldn't kill him. Actually, he could have played around mana leak. So whatever. We drew Glenelendra Archmage, which is perfect actually, since if he doesn't counter this, all of his little backup counters aren't going to do anything. So we just throw out Glenelendra. Perfect top deck. Obviously, he's going to counter spell. Surprisingly, he doesn't use the white mana just to tap it off this. So he taps out a blue, which was a mistake, because now I know he's got nothing. Maybe he's got a Mana Tithe and he's the ultimate troll, but he's going to throw Jace out, because now Jace, at this point, lets me bounce his Zur when he plays it next turn. And now I get the Brainstorm for free. Brainstorm... Not the best Brainstorm. We don't have any lands, so we're just going to throw back 2 random cards. It doesn't really matter. But that was a mistake on his part, not just playing Zur. If he played Zur, I wouldn't be able to Brainstorm. Alright, so he's thinking about how to tap. Now he's thinking about how to tap. Now he's playing Zur, so... he definitely doesn't have a 1 blue counterspell because he would have held up blue last turn, but he didn't. If I got Mana Tithe that turn, I would have been pretty mad. But he didn't have it. So now he's going to bounce a Zur. Got also another Jace, a backup Jace for what that's worth. So now we're gonna play Sen Triplets, and we've got Mana Drain back up because we just drew perfect. Well, I guess the Brainstorm is good because we drew Mana Drain, so there is that. So now what's he gonna do? Metamorph. Interesting that he plays Metamorph. I guess he's forcing me to use Jace's ability, but sure. I guess he wants to just copy my guy. And he concedes. He didn't want to play past that. So yeah, there you go. One counter spell versus one counter spell, and his was not as fond of mine. I think he had a good deck. I don't think he needed to concede early, but I guess he just really did not want me to see his hand. He probably had like Path to Exile or something like that. Maybe Swords of Pleasure. No, if he had that, he would have just done that. He must have had something he didn't want me to take from him. That is the problem with Sen Triplets, is when you defend Sen Triplets and you untap with it, if your opponent has anything decent, they tend to concede. If they don't, they just tend to stay in, and usually at that point you just cast a really bad Hill Giant that costs 5 mana. You basically cast a Venser Sliver. And then it's a fair game, but those don't happen too often. When they do, I tend to just have a really bad hand. At least this hand can recover from opponents having nothing. I don't really need to rip cards out of my opponent's hands. People really don't like getting their cards stolen. I can understand that. Sen Triplets is annoying. I think Zer's a little bit more annoying. That's why it's always competitively in the scene. So that was a long-winded approach. Let's see what we got for spoilers really quick. Alright, so nothing exciting was spoiled. There's a Rule of Law 1/4 creature that costs 2 and a white. It's an enchantment creature. It's 1/4. That basically lets each player can only cast one spell turns, like a Storm sideboard card. But Fariko spoiled the other day, or actually on Monday morning. If you haven't seen it yet, it's basically 1 black-green enchantment creature gods of 5 powered creature, I'm pretty sure, but its ability is so bad for all the gods. I think this is the worst god ability. And it says, pay black-green, exile a creature card from a graveyard. Its controller, or that graveyard's controller, puts a 1/1 like Death Touch creature into play. So it's so bad. It's definitely not what you want for Commander. It's not good in any format. It's going to be a bulk rare, bulk mythic rare. So people were hoping for the really good. That was the last one to spoil, and it was just so bad. They could have just made it. If you exile a creature, you should get a 1/1. It would have been so fair at that point. I don't think it would have been broken. Rather, it's if I exile a creature out of your graveyard, you get a 1/1 Death Touch. And that doesn't seem very good, especially when you're spending the mana, spending the resources to do it. Anyways, that was my clip. Sorry for the replay. I know you guys don't really prefer those, but thought that was better than nothing. Not playing many games. I have to actually get up very shortly to take my endocrine exam. So have a nice day, and if you like the video, subscribe if you like these kind of videos, and I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.